Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Random Review Series. DBougie86 here again, and I got another review for you guys. Yes, today I'm doing a film from 1973. I never get to do a lot of older films on this series, so I wanted to mix it up a bit. And this one's brought to us from 88 Films, and it's part of their Italian collection, and it goes by the title of Seven Deaths in the Cat's Eye. Yes. This film is directed by Antonio Margheriti, who's a director I do know, like some of his films I've seen, like Castle of Blood and The Long Hair of Death. Both those, of course, starring the legendary Barbara Steele. This is a Giallo film that he directed in the early 70s, during like the heyday of like Giallos during that time period. And it has an interesting plot. Pretty much the main plot is when we're introduced like this main setup of like our main setting of like this Scottish castle. Pretty much it's a castle on the Scottish Highlands, and we're introduced to like our main heroine of the film, Coringa, who's just coming back from school to visit her family estate where this castle is. And she gets introduced again to her mother and her aunt who live on this castle's property, and also her cousin James, who has like this dark past as we learn as the film progresses. And also there's a lot of like other people that all living on the estate, like this doctor that takes care of James, and actually this young woman who's his French teacher, and like of course like the servants and like priests and clergymen come to visit into the film as the film progresses. And pretty much what ends up happening is these series of murders start happening to like members of this estate, and Coringa is trying to figure out who it is because she suspects that it might be one of her family members that is actually doing the murders, because there's like a inheritance involved in this scheme of things. And it's pretty much her trying to figure out who it is throughout the rest of the film. That's pretty much all the plot I'm going to give away to you on this one. Now, my thoughts on it, pretty much, I love the setting of this film for the first part. It's very great, like a Giallo film set in like this very atmospheric like castle. It's kind of like the inside of the castle is really awesome. It has like a lot of like great set pieces to it, like these like gargoyle figurines and just like this atmospheric scenery around it and stuff, like the cemetery. Very atmospheric shots, especially with like this type of film, and it has like this gothic feel to it that's really interesting because there's not like a lot of giallos that are like this, with like a very gothic atmospheric feel. And I love that, and Margheriti directed that perfectly with this film. Another thing that I really enjoyed was the musical soundtrack by Riz Ortolani, of course, famed composer of like such films that I've seen like Don't Torture a Duckling, and of course Cannibal Holocaust, probably his most famous score. The score is amazing in this film, and just the killings themselves are very interesting because they're not really the greatest kills ever, but they're very stylistic in a way, in a sense, because of just the way that they're done and just the scenery and like the build up to them. I really do like the build up to the kills because there's like a few jump scares that really do work in my opinion, and then the kills happen and then it's awesome. There's actually a very good abundance of kills in this film, which keeps you interested enough, of course. And also that goes along with the gothic setting is there's a few like dream sequences that I really did enjoy. Coringo starts having like these dream sequences because of something that happens early in the film that makes her have these dream sequences. I don't want to really spoil it for you, but they're very atmospheric and kind of freaky, like especially what's going on in it. And just very atmospheric, kind of remind me of like Hammer horror in a way. This is pretty much if you mix a Giallo with a Hammer horror film. This is like the what you're gonna get, like a great combination of both. And I really did enjoy this. And of course, if you notice by the title of the film, Seven Deaths in a Cat's Eyes, and you're wondering, is there actually a cat in the film? There is, and he's a little sneaky bastard, I have to say, because of like the situations that he's involved in. He's pretty much the witness of all the murders pretty much in this film, and it's pretty awesome like when he comes and goes in the film, and just the antagonist level of this cat, because like there's one scene where like there's like this thing that's happening in the cemetery and he interrupts it pretty much, and the aunt gets pissed off at him and decides she doesn't like the cat pretty much, as you can tell in the film. But I did enjoy this for what it was. It's a very interesting take on Giallo mixed with like Gothic horror in a way, and I just love it. And just even the ending, even though not to really spoil this, but I did kind of see like this sort of ending before in Giallo films, of course. But they did like a little twist on it kind of deal, and you get to see that kind of in the beginning too. There's like a bookend scene, and I did really enjoy the ending of this film, the way that it went down. It's a very interesting look at like this sort of ending that I never seen before, because this ending has been done before in different Giallos. I'll just give that away. I'm not gonna give away like the actual reveal or anything. But really cool film. If I had to rate Seven Deaths in a Cat's Eye, I'm going to give it a solid like 7.5 out of 10. It does kind of drag in a few parts, especially with like long extended like sequences of like dialogue. But there's enough that keeps you intertwined and entertained as the film progresses. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10 for Seven Deaths in a Cat's Eye. Another thing that I had to mention, that this transfer from 88 Films is fantastic. They did a really good job about this transfer for this film. It's very bright and the colors pop, and really great with the atmospheric shots, especially with like the HD transfer awesomeness, and the score sounds amazing. For special features, there's not a lot, but there's a few. Like we have a audio commentary by Giallo expert Troy Howarth, who wrote a bunch of books about Giallos in the past, and he's very entertaining to listen to because he knows a lot about the genre. And we also have an interview with Antonio Margheriti's son, Eduardo Margheriti, I believe that's how you pronounce his first name. Really in depth, and he talks about like his father and his history of his father becoming a director and making films, and talks about like the scene where his father had like dinner with Mario Bava in the very beginning, which was a very cool intro for this interview. So yeah, I highly recommend this. Actually, it says Region B on this release. I forgot to mention that. But it's actually region free, guys, because I did play this in my Region A player downstairs, and it works. So if you don't have a region free player, you can still pick this up. I know a few of these are actually region locked, but this one, even though it says Region B, it's actually region free, so you could actually play it if you don't have a region free player. So awesome sauce for people that don't have those. They could, if they do want a Blu-ray of this film, I highly recommend it. So 7.5 out of 10 for Seven Deaths in a Cat's Eye. Alright guys, that's it for this random review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back soon. Another one, peeps. See you soon.